So you come from Ohio State. You come from a conference that's the toughest, most competitive conference in the country. You play against some of the best defenses you'll ever see, like the ones in Nebraska. Is the NFL as big of a jump as you thought it'd be, or is it a little easier than you thought it'd be?
I would say it's like in between. I wouldn't say it's easy nor like super hard. I feel like football is football, and of course the players get better. The windows are smaller, throws are you guys be more efficient, a lot more accurate. But I mean, I feel like that's the fun part of the game. Like that's what I enjoy. That's what I love. Just the grind of like how detailed you got to be to execute your job every play, and just go 1-0 a play. And I think sometimes as a young player, you can try to do so much on one play, or really just you think that you're Superman when you come out of college. But for me, I knew that man, I had to grow and I had to learn, and I knew that if I put in the work, not only would I be good, but I would hopefully be great and lead my guys to victory and lead my guys to be better. And then that's kind of like the mindset I've had, was just want to know each play and not trying to put too much on my plate, control the controllables. I know it's easy to say, it's harder to do, but I really try hard to just get on my routine, and make sure that I was simplifying everything so I can just play fast on Sundays. And of course, my team around me has done a great job. I have a great marketing team, a great agent, a great manager, assistant. I have a great team around me that kind of filter out a lot of stuff so I can just focus on ball, which is a super good thing for me and a blessing.
Hey, Will, I bet I can read this ad read faster than you can chug that bottle of water.
Bet.
Bussin With The Boys is brought to you by Body Armor. From sports drinks to sports water, Sport Armor keeps us hydrated all day long. Whether you're talking, watching, or even playing sports, Body Armor is your go-to choice. Real hydration, real ingredients, packed with electrolytes, vitamins, and nothing artifactual. Body Armor has great tasting flavors like strawberry banana and blue raspberry. The best athletes in the world hydrate with Body Armor, like Ronald Acuna Jr., Christian McCaffrey, Will Compton, Taylor Lewan, Alex Morgan, and the latest athlete to join the team, Joe Burrow. Listen, we talked about it. You got to get the strawberry banana. That is the one to get. That is my personal favorite. Available in stores nationwide. Head over to Body Armor Store and Amazon to get yours today.
Back to CJ Stroud.
When you came from college, you came from a system that you look to the sideline and you see a cool, cardboard, and you look at a couple pictures and then you know what the play is. What was the process like for you to learn the verbiage and bring it into a huddle and be able to be confident and spew it, and not only spew it, but know it as well? Was that a difficult thing?
Yeah, it was tough, man. Because everything, like you said, in college is all signals. So it was even hard learning those signals when I first got to college, and then when you get to the league, you have to throw it out of the way and get used to that headset, and the earpiece that's in your helmet, which isn't always the most clear thing ever. So you kind of just got to get used to like um, I would say the accent in there. Like it sounds like gibberish sometimes, so you got to really know your plays so you can piece it together. And really, you want to tell a story while you're in there. You don't want to just ram through the play and make it seem like it could sound like something else. You want to like tell a story, and give it really detailed so guys know exactly what's going on. So that was a really big jump, coming from that, and of course, in the Big Ten, there was a lot of defenses that were like NFL style, so that kind of helped me as well. Kind of going back to your question, from the last question. So it was kind of a little bit of both though. Was learning the new idea of listening to in the headset to going out there and then looking at the defense, from a huddle and not like being out there the whole time and be able to see as you're getting the play.
Can I just say something before you ask the next question?
Yeah, go ahead.
I want to give a shout out to your PR team. They have done a phenomenal job of, hey, this is what you say, this is what you don't say. You seem like you're doing a great job of being a pro in this moment and kind of trying to decipher what this show's all about. And you kind of just come in and think, hey, answer it. Don't give him too much bulletin material, anything like that.
Him, like maybe he needs more credit.
Yeah, but he plays with too much swag. Plays with too much. And you can tell he's meticulous. He's trying to make sure that he doesn't say anything wrong right now, and I love that. Yeah, that's the thing you should do.
I think what I love hearing is when he talks about doing to, because I played on defense. Like whether or not wearing the green dot and telling a story, like as he's talking about the plays, delivering the plays, and like you kind of got to tell a story. It's like when he's sitting there, he's on a knee talking to his huddle and like giving the energy throughout the play on like, we're kind of in this situation. Some guys, whether you're sticking up your arm here, you're kind of telling a story. What I want to go back to is you talk about this 1-0 mentality and you're like, it's easier said than done. Do you have any, process or something you lean on or something you've picked up and learned that you really try and lean into during this? Because you're right, it is really hard to go 1-0 every play. It's hard to forget about a failure you might have had just the play before. Is there anything there, or you feel like you've just kind of cultivated this naturally?
I would say a little bit of both. I would be lying if I said I've always been kind of cool, calm, like let stuff go. Like just being young and immature, like probably even before college and going into college, I was very, very like fiery, and I didn't take no BS. Like I just was that's just who I was. And I still am that way, but I know how to kind of put that to the side when it's not necessary, which is important, especially as a quarterback. Everybody's looking at you when stuff hits the fan. So for me, I mean, I always lean on my faith, and I try to pray through things and just have like some breathing exercises that I do. But when those things I mean, those things usually work, but I also kind of just understand, man, like thinking about the last play, like what benefit does that do me? What is that gonna help in the long run in the future? So you might as well just throw it away and go to the next play. Because I'm king of like man, after the game, rewatching a bad clip 10 times, like man, I should have did that, I should have did this. I mean, but when you're moving at the speed of light, man, and you know how y'all both played in the league for a long time at a high level, you're moving so fast. Sometimes your body and your mind just does things. So you got to play with your instincts at the same time and give yourself a little bit of credit even when you do make a mistake. Because I think as players, we can be our biggest critic, and that's a good thing. But at the same time, you got to build yourself up just like you break yourself down when you know you have to keep yourself accountable. So I try to do both, but more so than anything, I try to make sure that I have a plain face, that I'm staying even keel throughout the whole game. Because I know that just how your next play could have been, your last play could have been bad, it could have been good too. So you got to let that go as well. So it's a little bit of both.
That's really well said. Was there a moment? Not, I know that's like a combination of moments, right? But was there a time where you were losing your cool and maybe you had a conversation kind of made you rethink about it and zoom out and you're like, oh yeah, I kind of see this. Was it observing somebody like? Because you said like I wasn't always like this, like sometimes I wouldn't let shit go, but like was there a loss that you had like at a game in college, or was there a sequence of plays to kind of make you rethink that?
Yeah, it was all the way back in college, man. I actually was just in Columbus this past weekend, and I was talking to my running back coach, Coach Tony Alford, and at the time, like you see your buddies on the other side of the country who stay home, or like you see some guys that you feel better than playing well. And like the time I wasn't playing, I was a freshman. And like no, being myself, like man, I feel like I know I wasn't gonna play over Justin, but like I feel like man, we were up by a lot. Like I should have got in and stuff like that. And I was like, man, I'm ready to go home. Like I'm tired of Columbus. I want to leave. Like I want to do this. I want to do that. You're just talking. And I remember I sat down for like 3 hours with my running back coach after practice in the freezing cold, and we were just talking, man, just about everything. And so like I go back to that moment, and that was kind of like a really big uh, moment for me to mature as a man. And he was just being honest with me that whole time, and he really was just saying, man, comparison is a thief of joy. My dad used to always tell me that as a kid,
It's a good quote.
like comparing yourself to somebody on social media, especially in this social media day and age where everybody's posting their wins and victories, and a lot of it's fake. Like back then when my dad was telling me, it wasn't so alarming to me because I was just a kid at the time. But when my coach said that, it made me think about what my dad used to tell me. And man, if you compare yourself to others, man, you don't really get to love your life and love what you're going through. And you have to go through some type of struggle to be great in anything. So that was a moment where like, man, it was like all made sense. And then I started getting a lot more mature, a lot more. I started calming down some more.
That's amazing.
Dude, that is incredible. You talk about your relationship with your running back coach in high school. Have you been able to find a similar type of relationship in the NFL with one of your coaches now that you're able to lean on from an emotional standpoint when things don't go well, when you go have a 3 and out or you make a bad pass or something like that? Is there any time or any coach on that staff that you're like, hey, just give me a second to kind of vent and talk a little bit?
Yeah, I mean, our quarterback coach, Rod Johnson, he's always right there. He's somebody that I've known since high school. I mean, he was my Elite 11 coach when I was in high school. I was like 16.
Oh, that's
So
awesome.
Awesome.
for it to come full circle is kind of crazy. So he's always right there. My guy Davis and Case Keenum, they're always right there to talk about a play or to tell me, man, this like you couldn't do anything right there. Like you got to just get rid of it. Whatever, like bad or good, they always try to be honest with me, which I really appreciate. And for me, even bigger, like off the field, I have a lot of support. Cause sometimes, man, like y'all played this game at a high level. So, when you get home, sometimes you don't want to talk about ball. You want to talk about anything else. And so I have a good friend of mine who helps me just talk about certain things that I need to get off my chest and things like that. So that's some advice for you guys out there who are coming into this league, man, for next year, or if you haven't done that yet, just man, have somebody that you can vent to, because this world will tell you how bad you are, and you'll start listening if you don't have something to kind of get out of that way. So for me, I mean, those have been some big pieces for me to be successful.